What's up? Welcome to Unlimited Health. What's up? What's going on? It's been a while since the last stream, like all streams, okay? I'm sorry, how many times do I even have to apologize? It's crazy, But, there's another thing that happened, okay? This time my cat got attacked by a dog, and, luckily, my cat was alive, was able to almost recover. I mean, it's recovering right now, but it can't walk. So it's a complicated thing, and I was like so sad and depressed. My dad was about to freaking cry. He's old. I love my dad. That's why it's been this long since the previous stream, and I'm sorry. Okay, so we're gonna watch some scary shit. Okay, the first one is pretty nasty and disgusting. Alright, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, let's go. God damn it. Okay. Cool.
You all
stuff.
seem to really enjoy my last video on Japanese cases. So
Japanese
today,
cases.
I thought it would be fun to explore some more unsolved mysteries from the country. And believe me, there's no shortage of bizarre and unsettling content to cover.
Really?
So join me as we take another journey to the land of the rising
And
sun.
why have your recent uploads been nothing scary? Why are they not so scary? Come on, dude. Enough complaining. Let's go.
And see what dark mysteries are lurking in its shadows.
Okay, mystery 1. Fucked up. Okay, let's go. Messed up
There's
thing.
a number of strange superstitions surrounding
This will make you vomit. Okay.
bathrooms in Japan. Toilets are the unexpected setting of a lot of urban legends there. For example, Akamanto, aka Red Cape,
Oh
a
shit.
masked spirit who appears to people in public bathroom stalls.
Oh my god.
If the occupants
That
run
is
out of
so
toilet
creepy.
paper,
That gave me
Akamanto
chills just
will offer
now.
them a roll of either red or blue paper. If you choose the red paper,
The background music that this guy uses really gives you chills, even though nothing is happening. Sometimes it gives you chills, bro. It's something like a movie, It's crazy.
you'll meet an immediate bloody end.
Listen
The
to that
spirit may
music.
flay you alive,
Listen to that
or rip
music.
the spine from your body and wrap
Okay.
it around your neck like a cape. If you choose the blue paper,
Huh.
Akamanto will place his hands around your throat and squeeze until your face turns blue.
Oh god.
Try and outsmart him by picking another color, and a pair of hands will drag you to the underworld.
To the underworld.
Your only viable option is to make a run for it without wiping.
Jeez.
So there's really no winning in this game.
Fuck.
Now those type of stories are popular
That's
among high
madness.
schoolers and fans of the paranormal, sure.
Ah!
But ultimately, no one really believes them. And they're just
You know what? I didn't want to do scary stuff today because I was kind of scared already. I don't know, man. I do these live streams during the night, and some nights I kind of get spooked out and don't want to do some weird shit, and I'm still doing it. I don't want to get chills over and over and get paranoid and worried about what's moving around me or whatever, okay? I don't want to get paranoid.
seen as a bit of fun.
But I gotta do it for you guys because I want my YouTube channels to thrive and my Twitch channel to thrive. So I'm doing it because of that, and I hope you like it though, because you're the focus of me. I focus on you. So let's do it. Damn.
There are, however, some genuinely unsettling figures that lurk in Japanese public bathrooms. Namely, peeping toms. Things have gotten a lot better in recent years, but in the not-so-distant past, Japan had a real problem with pervs.
Whoa.
Men who go around following, grabbing, and photographing women.
Oh
In
shit.
many ways,
That's
still
terrible.
a big problem in Japanese society.
I mean,
and it's the reason
us men, we all know that women are hot, but we cannot chase them, creep up on them. Come on, dude.
that trains in the country have female-only carriages, and why phone cameras can't be switched to silent mode. But one place in particular that these men seemingly couldn't help but venture into back in the day was women's bath stalls.
Oh.
Which brings us to our first entry from Tamura
Yeah,
County.
very local areas have pervs in them. If you live in a very local area, detached from the outer city or country or whatever, state or whatever, you have some pervs in your small town, whatever you're living, and that's a problem. So be very careful, and be wary of strangers that come from outside, and they're complete loners. Strangers that are complete loners, have no family, and wear like hoodies and shit, sketchy outfits. Grab a bus to bus and hike around, fucking travel around aimlessly. Stay away from people like those. They're fucking crazy, dude. I don't know what goes on in their mind. They think it's adventurous, and then they end up looking on your sister or mother or something and creep up on you and shit. Get ready. Hold on to your fist, okay? That's
a
all
rural
I'll say.
area in Fukushima. It was the cold, dark night of February 28th, 1989.
Yeah.
A female schoolteacher named Yumi Tanaka went into a restroom just outside her single-person dormitory.
Huh. Okay.
Inside was an old-fashioned squat toilet.
Huh.
A simple model. Where the
Yeah, we also squat to do. I'm Indian, okay? So we also squat to do the do what? You know that, okay? And Japanese are also pretty much the same. It's only the European guys, the Western society that is used to sitting like a chair. That's cool, but it's also very difficult to get shit out. Just saying.
The septic tank
Crazy.
was U-shaped. One end of the pipe was connected to the toilet inside the bathroom, and the other to the outside world.
Oh.
You'd drop your business down the bathroom end of the pipe, and periodically, it would all get sucked out from the other end by a machine.
Huh.
After using the squat toilet, Yumi looked down into it and noticed something bizarre. There was a leather shoe deep inside the toilet.
What?
Confused, she
What?
went outside to open the concrete
What the fuck?
lid of the septic tank, but found it was already ajar.
What in the world is happening? A leather shoe inside the tank? Septic tank?
She gazed down into this opposite end of the pipe, and what she saw made her heart skip.
Oh my god.
Squashed inside the thin septic tank,
Holy
covered in human
crap.
waste,
Holy
was the
shit.
frozen body of Naoyuki Kano, a
the
26-year-old
fuck?
man who worked for the local power plant.
What?
An autopsy
A body inside toilet? That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
would later reveal that he had died 2
That's crappy. I'm sorry for the pun, but holy shit.
days prior, due to a combination of pressure on his chest and hypothermia.
What?
Investigators were stunned to find him in such a strange position.
What?
He was lying on his back in the fetal position, his head positioned just under the squat toilet. Despite the freezing temperatures, Naoyuki's torso was completely bare, and his shirt was found neatly folded atop his body. One of his shoes was on top of his face. That's the one Yumi had seen. His other shoe was later found on the bed of a river, quite some distance from his body. His car was discovered close to the bathroom.
That is so bizarre. I think somebody fucking murdered him and shoved him in there to hide the body or something like that. People can't get rid of bodies or anything. They don't have corrosive acids lying around. So some of these fucked up, naive, dumbass killers, crazy killers, just hide the body and where nobody can find it. And this is exactly what that is. I think I've seen so many cases that I'm now almost like an expert at how a killer functions. And it's like, what the fuck? What is wrong with me? I've seen so many mysterious cases. Now I'm a huge investigative expert based on serial killings and shit. That's how I'm like.
With the keys still in the ignition and the doors unlocked. The authorities quickly closed the case, concluding that Naoyuki must have squeezed into the pipe in order to peep up at women as they used the bathroom.
What? Dude, how can you watch a woman take a shit? How is that erotic? Just come on, man. You look at a beautiful figure of a woman, and I'm like, damn, son, that's hot. But no, he's like looking at her shitting. That is some, he's some weird kink dude, okay? I don't know. There's no way I don't think there's even one guy in this world that is interested in watching women shitting on them too. Like, what the fuck? As they're sleeping. What the hell, man?
And to enjoy the feeling
Nasty!
of their waist covering him.
Ugh.
Now Yuki's friends and family were outraged by that assertion. The young man was known for being an upstanding, sunny, moral citizen. He had helped many of the locals with odd jobs and problems they were facing, and was well known in the community. He was also the Minister of Entertainment and Activities of the local youth club, and was considered a role model.
This dude is a fucking alpha male or some shit. He has done so many things, and he's very popular. So then what kind of... How did he even get there? What?
By all the young members. There was no way such an intelligent and sweet guy perished doing something so shameful and foolish.
This is ridiculous.
They believed that Naoyuki had been the victim of foul play.
Yeah, I believe it. You know, I guarantee, I bet he was murdered. There's no way any person can get inside a fucking septic tank, let alone get close to it. You know, it's just stupid. And only to take a look at a woman's poopy butt. Really?
More than 4,300 local villagers signed a petition for Naoyuki's case to be reopened, but the authorities denied their request.
Disgusting.
The coroner had ruled that Naoyuki only had minor abrasions on his knees and elbows,
Really
with no
bizarre.
noticeable wounds, suggesting that he had been forced inside
Bizarre
the pipe.
case. And obviously his clothes were folded and put on top of his chest, like as if they were, you know, meant to... It's almost like discarding them, you know, with the body. You know, it's like that. I guess they beat him so hard, and they beat him. I guess they beat him, right? They have to beat him or kill him like a blunt force trauma or something, you know?
So, in short, there are two possibilities when it comes to this case. Either Naoyuki had gone into the pipe willingly for his own gratification.
Nah, there's no way.
He was put in there by somebody else.
No, just so bad. So disgusting.
But was there any evidence that he had been murdered? Actually, there were several pieces.
Yes, good.
Firstly, the pipe he was trapped in was tight. And I mean extremely tight. Naoyuki's shoulders were 16 inches wide, but the diameter of the pipe which he had slid into was only 14 inches.
He was fucking shoved into it like so hard in order to fucking hide his body. These killers they shoved him so hard, man. That's the only explanation.
The recovery crew couldn't pull his body out, no matter how hard they tried, and the entire pipe had to be destroyed just to get him out. As Naoyuki slid himself face up into the pipe and shimmied his way down, he must have realized there was no way for him to get out. He wouldn't have been able to...
Imagine dying in a septic tank, bro. How can you die like that? That's so disgusting, degenerate, insulting, so bad, so degrading. I just
get past the ceramic toilet above him, and it would have been impossible to crawl out backwards. Would he really have put him...
Some of the worst crimes are not as bad as this, you know? That's how bad this is. Holy shit.
...himself in such a risky position just to fulfill a fantasy? Even if he had, the lighting in the bathroom was so weak, he wouldn't have been able to see anything anyway. Secondly, his missing shoe being found so far from his body didn't make any sense at all. Why would Naoyuki have thrown one of his shoes into a river so far from his destination, and then crawled into the pipe?
That's the evidence, that's the proof that something weird, crazy happened before he was inside the pipe, which means somebody beat the shit out of him, made him undress, remove all his clothes, and beat the shit out of him and shoved it in the pipe, the body, with the clothes. Once he's dead, they put the clothes on him, folded and put it on him, and then shoved him in the pipe. That's it. You can already see it. It's right there, you know?
With the other in his hand. Thirdly, it wouldn't have been possible for Naoyuki to neatly fold his shirt while stuck within the confines of the pipe. He must have folded it before he went inside. But if it was so cold, why did he remove it at all? If he didn't want to get it dirty, surely he would have just left it outside.
Disgusting. Ugh.
Thirdly, the fact that he had perished from hypothermia was odd. Most people who have fallen or crawled into septic tanks in the past have either died from drowning or from breathing in toxic fumes.
Wait, he died by hypothermia, right? So was there like winter season or something with snow falling? Or maybe he was killed somewhere else and put in the freezer without the clothes. Okay, that makes sense. And then somebody decided to dispose it and shoved it in some random pipe with the clothes neatly folded on him and discarded his body or something. And when it was in the freezer, he got hypothermia, or maybe he was kidnapped and he was in the freezer and he died there because of the cold. I don't know. This is crazy. Crazy.
It's not clear how much waste was inside the pipe, but surely the fumes would have still been potent enough to end Naoyuki's life at a faster rate than the cold.
Were there any like mountains with a lot of snow on it? Was he like trapped in one of the areas somewhere without clothes? Did somebody make him undress or something like that? I don't know. This is
Finally,
insane.
Remember Yumi Tanaka, the woman who found Naoyuki's body? Well, Naoyuki knew her.
Huh. Whoa!
They were close friends.
What?
Between the 24th and 28th of February, Yumi was away visiting relatives outside the village.
Wow.
Naoyuki would have been very familiar with her schedule,
That is
and almost
insane.
certainly would have known that.
That's insane.
Even if he didn't know she was gone for some reason, he had still perished on the 26th. That was a Saturday. Yumi was never at her dorm on the weekends. If
Damn.
Naoyuki wanted to peep up at her so desperately, why did he stuff himself into her bathroom pipe when she wasn't there?
How is that
knowing
even
that he would have to
possible?
wait inside it for at least 2 whole days.
And she was his friend, and it's almost like a weird coincidence that she would find the dead body of her own friend. That's weird.
In the minds of many, the only possible answer is that he didn't get into it willingly. But if someone else had stuffed Naoyuki into the pipe, who and why? Well,
Look, the fact that they both knew each other tells me that the killer is somewhere around in the social circles around them. That's the only explanation. How is that you shove a random body into a pipe and it happens to be somebody else that is a friend of that body, discovering that body and shit. Like, come on, I think somebody like a third party, like another friend that barely engages in conversations with them, with these two friends, is the one that got jealous or something, seeing them together or something like that. Maybe it's like a love triangle thing, and somebody did something. I don't know, man.
there are a few theories. Just before the incident, Naoyuki's village had a mayoral election. One of the candidates was a man named Tadashiro Watanabe. Naoyuki had been a supporter of Tadashiro's. That is, until he learned Tadashiro was actually corrupt and had been buying votes from the local villagers.
Really?
This strategy worked, and Tadashiro was voted in as the...
Yeah, dude, don't engage in fights, man. Real life is not like movies, okay? Real life is fucking brutal. Don't engage in fights. Don't argue with people. I mean, you can argue on some things, but don't enrage people. Don't make people hate you so hard. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna find yourself in a septic tank. Just be calm, man. Life is not worth going through all that shit. Honestly, just be happy. Just make everybody, just make everybody smile. That's all.
the village mayor. Naoyuki was furious, and, being a man of principle, immediately turned his back on Tadashiro.
Damn. Fucking politics going on here.
On February 23rd,
Jeez.
5 days before his remains were discovered, Naoyuki played a show with his punk band at a local restaurant.
Huh.
Now, he was a very outspoken young man, and consumed by anger, he thrashed his guitar while singing lyrics that berated the villagers, mocking them for being so easily manipulated.
Okay.
This sparked an argument between Naoyuki and several men from the youth club that supported Tadashiro. The youth club Naoyuki was the minister of. In their eyes, Their role model, Naoyuki, had just betrayed them.
Oh my
Betrayed
god.
Tadashiro,
God damn it.
according to witnesses.
Why all these grudges and hatred and all that shit? Just go and have a conversation, maybe. Huh? Maybe that will clear things up. Why you gotta hold on to grudges and go and fucking kidnap or beat the shit? Like, come on, dude. I've seen, children do that in high school. When I was a kid, some kids used to hold grudges on some other kid. These were like bullies, and they used to bully them even more or some shit like that. But then, it's just so ridiculous. Stop being childish, okay? The world is much better if you focus on it, okay? Don't be stupid.
These men
seriously.
followed Naoyuki out to his car. Some people speculate that they forced Naoyuki into his own vehicle, drove him out to the septic tank, knocked him out somehow, and, while he was still alive, stuffed him inside it.
Was the septic tank sewage super cold or something? How did he become hypothermic or whatever?
Naoyuki then woke up in the cold, dark pipe, realized his situation, and, unable to get out, squeezed himself into the fetal
shit.
position for warmth, only to succumb to the freezing temperatures 2 or 3 days later.
Oh, you telling me he died there while being alive? I don't know, man. That is even worse. The poop water is all over your face, and you're gonna have to drown in it. Holy shit.
So, had this all been a setup? A way to get rid of Tadashiro's outspoken critic, Naoyuki, and pin him as being a peeping Tom, desperate for a glance up at his friend, Yumi Tanaka. Had these men actually not intended to kill Naoyuki at all, and stuffed him inside the pipe as some sort of joke gone wrong?
Okay.
It's worth noting that the police handled this case very crudely, mishandling
Jeez.
Naoyuki's remains, and accidentally destroying evidence.
Okay.
It's also worth noting that the coroner who examined Naoyuki's remains just so happened to quit his job after declaring there had been no foul play.
What?
But the mayor himself pulled some strings and got his young group members off the hook and ordered the authorities to flush the evidence, so to speak.
Damn, son. This is
It doesn't
fucked
seem
up.
likely that the young men would have killed Naoyuki over such a minor gripe. But then again,
That's
it
so
also doesn't seem
stupid.
likely that he'd crawl into the pipe willingly
Stop holding
himself.
on to grudges.
There are
Stop
a few other
hating.
theories floating about online,
Stop planning to murder. The fuck?
ranging from Naoyuki being slain for being an outspoken supporter of nuclear energy, to him being silenced by the very plant he worked at for knowing some of their nefarious secrets. But
Damn.
there's not much evidence to support any of them. He may have been a
Okay.
peeping Tom. He may have
I
been
don't think he's a peeping Tom, man. I don't think he's a peeping Tom.
a victim. All I know is that Naoyuki suffered one of the worst fates imaginable. Trapped in a cold,
Look, if you were to jump down from, this is how septic tank is, and it goes up on the outside. So when you jump down, your legs are still outside. That means you cannot jump down there, and you cannot crawl into it from there to underneath it. I don't think you can. If you did, then your arms would be up like this, right? Instead of like this. So somebody really pushed him into it. And I don't know if he, woke up or anything when he's down there. It doesn't matter. He was already stuck there. And that was it, Somebody just, pushed him into it and pushed his legs into it. And then he positioned, like the body positioned itself like as if it was sleeping down there. And that was it.
dark pipe,
Jeez.
unable to move, and covered in human waste.
Okay, the next one is, we already saw that. We shouldn't be seeing that shit. The next one really fucking creeped me out, man. You see, we already seen that shit, and I would suggest go check out my YouTube channel if you want it, So, yeah. Should we watch the this thing? Did we see this? The Jeff the Killer thing, huh? Can we watch that? Did we see that? I don't know. I don't remember seeing it, but I don't know. Maybe we should. I don't know. Let me check the stream. Is anybody there? Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back. It's been a while. My cat almost died. So I had to go take a, and see the the pet clinic, and they had to like, and now my cat can't even move, but can't even walk, but it's moving and it's responding. So it took a while, like a week, to get everything right. So it's a mess. Okay, so shall we watch something else? What do we watch? Let's watch a Mr. Ballin video. Okay, this is based on like I guess it's based on like UFO maybe. How this man vanished. Even skeptics can't explain how this man vanished. Okay, so let's watch this. Came out like yesterday, so let's do it. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's fucking watch it. And after this, I'm gonna watch some creepy gameplay, funny creepy gameplay of some Let's Play YouTuber to clean my mind, because I'm spooked right now. I'm fucking spooked, man. I'm really spooked. Let's go.
Today's video is primarily geared towards skeptics because the story I'm going to tell you today is often cited as proof that we are not alone in this universe, that aliens exist. Agree or disagree in the comments, and I will respond to as many people as I can. But before we get into that story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place, because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So, if that's of interest to you, please invite the like button to come out for a fun night on the town with you, but don't show up and don't answer any of their phone calls or text messages all night. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. Okay. Let's get into
this bitch, boy. Mr. Ballin. Jelly, huh?
On the afternoon of June 6th, 1980, a 56-year-old man named Zygmunt Adamski, who just went by Ziggy, was having a late lunch with his wife and his cousin inside of Ziggy's little brick house in the English village of Tingley. That day had been a particularly stressful day for Ziggy and his family, because the following day was Ziggy's goddaughter's wedding, and Ziggy was very close with his goddaughter. Ziggy and his wife couldn't have kids because of medical issues, and so his goddaughter had basically become, at least in Ziggy's mind, like his own daughter. And so in fact, at her wedding, Ziggy was going to be walking her down the aisle. And while Ziggy was really excited about this, he was also very stressed out that he was going to screw it up. And so he had gone over and over, what responsibilities he had as part of the wedding party. And he had this little speech he had to give that he had rehearsed 50 times. He had it written out. I mean, he was ready, but he was very much in his own head about something potentially going wrong that he would be responsible for. And on top of that stress, Ziggy had gotten into a fight that day with his cousin because he felt like the cousin was being kind of disrespectful in some way to his goddaughter, and so Ziggy had stepped up and defended his goddaughter to his cousin, and so there was this undercurrent of tension at the lunch table, not to mention this overarching stress that Ziggy was under about this wedding. And so as Ziggy and his cousin and his wife have this kind of tense meal, Ziggy suddenly realizes that he forgot to get potatoes when he went to the store earlier to buy ingredients for this meal. And for some reason, Ziggy decides, you know what, I'm going to just put my stuff down now, go to the store, and get those potatoes, even though at this point it was too late to make the potatoes for the meal. And so maybe Ziggy just wanted to go out and do anything to get away from his cousin for a minute and away from all this wedding planning they were doing, and just kind of go out and clear his head.
Oh, so God. Worst decision ever. Now look, he's gonna something's gonna happen to him.
Down on the table, he stood up, he told his cousin and wife that he was going out to get potatoes. They were like, okay, and the cousin actually said, do you want me to come with you? Is there anything else you need to get while you're out? And Ziggy said, nope, I'm good. He grabbed some cash out of his wallet, and he headed out the door. The village of Tingley, where Ziggy and his wife lived, was a very safe place. He and his wife had actually moved there after fleeing from Poland during World War II, where both Ziggy and his wife, whose name was Lottie, had been held prisoner at some point. And so after all this trauma of being held prisoner and having to flee their home country, they had looked for the safest, best place to kind of resettle and stay for good, and Tingley was it, and they loved it. Ziggy had gotten a job in Tingley as a coal miner, and he had been doing that for 27 years. As for Lottie, she didn't work because she had a disease called multiple sclerosis, which meant she was confined to a wheelchair. But Ziggy and Lottie had quickly made lots of friends in town who were very supportive, and so it wasn't long before Ziggy and Lottie had a very happy and stable life in this town. The little shop where Ziggy was going to was only about 3 blocks away from his house, which meant walking to the store, getting potatoes, and coming back would only take a few minutes. And so Lottie and the cousin back home, they expected to see Ziggy really come back within 10-15 minutes. But when he didn't, and after about 30 minutes went by, Lottie actually got really concerned. Because Ziggy was just
That's
not
fucking
the type
crazy.
of person
That's creepy.
to do stuff unannounced. He was incredibly methodical, he was very punctual and reliable, and so being late from this little trip to the store was just so uncharacteristic that Lottie told the cousin, hey, you go to the store and see if Ziggy is there. See what's going on here. Ziggy had worked in the coal mine for nearly 30 years, and he had some serious lung issues from breathing in all of the coal. And so Lottie was thinking, you know, maybe he collapsed or something along the way from these breathing issues. But when the cousin got to the shop owner told the cousin that they had seen Ziggy. He had come in about 25 minutes earlier. He had bought a bag of potatoes, seemed totally normal, everything was fine, and he had left, walking back in the direction of his home. And so the cousin thanked the shopkeeper and then left and began jogging back towards Ziggy's house, thinking, you know, maybe he had just not seen him on the way, that maybe Ziggy was sitting down somewhere on this 3-block path. But the cousin got all the way home and didn't see any sign of Ziggy. And so after going back inside of the house, the cousin and Lottie talked about what they should do, and they actually went back out into the neighborhood asking around, asking neighbors and other people if they had seen Ziggy. But after a couple of hours of canvassing,
where the fuck did this guy go?
The neighborhood and not finding Ziggy or finding any indication of what happened to him, Lottie ended up calling the police. But the police were not inclined to launch a huge investigation for a grown man who's only been missing for a couple of hours in his neighborhood with no sign of foul play or any other sign that anything really bad had happened. And after the police began asking questions of Lottie and the neighbors...
Yeah, but this is the problem. Once somebody tells you that they're missing, you have to go and help them out. Why can't you... Why would you say 2 hours... Only 2 hours has passed, so we cannot yet, search for him. Please, excuses. Why would you do that? Like, seriously. You're the police. You should, help everybody out regardless of your code. Like, honestly, that's what I think. Seriously.
About what Ziggy's life was like, they learned that recently Ziggy had been declined for an early retirement from the coal mine. Because of those breathing issues he was having, he had requested to retire now, but they said no. And so Ziggy was really upset about that. He was really stressed about this wedding of his goddaughter the next day. He had been fighting with his cousin. Also, Ziggy was basically taking care of his wife, who's in this wheelchair all the time. And so because of all these stressors in Ziggy's life, the police started to wonder if maybe it was possible that Ziggy had not been going to get potatoes, but in fact was just kind of abandoning his family. And so ultimately, on the day that Ziggy went missing, the police...
Why would he take potatoes and decide to abandon his family by taking potatoes first? Why? How is that even possible? You want to abandon your family, you're going to first go and take some potatoes. Really? Really, dude?
Told Lottie and Ziggy's cousin that they should just sit tight, see if he comes back tonight.
What I think is that he took the potatoes and something distracted him and he went completely out of his direction and he didn't go back to his house. Instead, he went somewhere else because, he was doing something else instead. And he thought he was going to come back within a few minutes or something, but he didn't. So the bag of potatoes, I don't know where they are either. So
And if he doesn't, go to the wedding tomorrow because Ziggy is so close with the goddaughter. If he's having some sort of issue right now, he's very likely to come back for something as significant as this wedding. And so Lottie and Ziggy's cousin stayed at the house all night. Ziggy did not come back. They didn't hear from him. And the next day they went to the wedding, but Ziggy didn't show up for that either, even though he's supposed to walk his goddaughter down the aisle. And so after coming back from this wedding, Lottie called the police, she called local hospitals, she talked to all of her neighbors. I mean, she really put out an all-points bulletin to everybody in the area that something terrible has happened to Ziggy and we need to find him. But despite police beginning to lean
Damn.
into this and her neighbors really going out in force to try to find Ziggy, no one could find him. He had just vanished.
Jeez. What? That is so unusual.
Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video.
This sponsor is making me feel better. That was kind of creepy, man. Where did he go?
Back in 2017, when I left the military, I really struggled to reintegrate.
How long
into
is his
society.
sponsor?
But ironically, I didn't know I was struggling. I just assumed that the random bouts of anger and
God damn it.
frustration and
All right,
general
let this,
dysphoria that I
this
was
thing
feeling
keep
all
going.
the time were totally
Let me
normal,
see.
and everybody else was dealing with these things too. It wasn't
All
until
right.
my family came to me and said, "John, we're really worried about you," that I finally kind
All
of
right.
looked inward and realized
Alright, let's go with the
right from the comfort
fucking
of
sponsor.
or do so. Go to our of therapy.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. This
On
is
the morning
so creepy,
of June
man.
11th, so 5 days after Ziggy went to get potatoes and then
Oh,
vanished, a man
Everybody goes to take milk and disappear, but this this guy takes potatoes and disappears.
named Trevor Parker got to work at his father's coal yard in the English town of Todmorden. The coal yard was basically just this big open lot that had a chain link fence around it that butted up against some railroad tracks. And inside of this lot were just these huge mounds of coal up against the perimeter of the lot. And then also inside of the coal yard was one small office building. And so on this morning, when Trevor pulled through the gates of this coal yard, first of all, he could see the entire yard the second he went in. And as he looked out, all he noticed was the fact that everything was wet from an early morning storm. And so after just kind of surveying around the lot to make sure none of the coal got blown around from the storm, he made his way to the small office building to do some paperwork. Trevor would work inside of that office building for a while, and then around lunchtime, Trevor decided to just go and get some lunch and kind of have a nice long lunch break. And so he left, he went to the
Damn.
pub, he was there for a couple of hours, and then around 3:45 p.m., he came back to the coal yard, and when he went through the gates, everything looked the same, except there was this dark thing on top of one of the coal piles in the back of the yard. Now,
Really?
Trevor didn't know if he had seen it when he had first arrived.
Is that a
morning,
dead
or if
body?
It was new, but whatever it was on this pile, it immediately caught Trevor's attention. And so after parking his vehicle, Trevor began walking over to this 12-foot tall coal pile with this thing on it. And when he got about 30 feet away from it, he realized he saw someone's shoe, that this dark figure was a person. And right away, Trevor started rolling his eyes because there was a group of homeless people that lived near the railroad tracks just outside the coal yard. And it wasn't uncommon for them to get really drunk and then wander their way into the coal yard where sometimes they would fall asleep. And so Trevor's thinking, okay, clearly one of these drunk homeless people has found their way into the coal yard and they've passed out on top of this pile of coal. And so instead of going over and talking to this person directly, Trevor just turned around, went back inside of the office building, and he called for an ambulance. The ambulance arrived a few minutes later. They did not have their sirens on. They didn't come flying into the yard. This was a routine thing they were doing. They were scooping up a drunk and bringing them back to the hospital. And so when the medics got out of their ambulance and Trevor directed them over to the proper coal pile, they were just cracking jokes along the way. This was not a big deal. When the two medics got to the bottom of the coal pile, one of them began climbing up the coal to go see this drunk person and get them down. And so Trevor, as this is happening, he walked a little bit closer, and when he did, he realized that the person who had fallen asleep on the coal, they had really nice pants on, like tailored pants. They were certainly not what Trevor expected this person to be wearing. But before Trevor could even really react to the clothes this person had on, the medic who had climbed up had finally reached this person. They reached down and began trying to move the person around. And suddenly, when they had manipulated this person's body enough, the medic's facial expression completely changed.
Holy
they went
shit.
from somewhat routine to totally horrified. And they backed off of this person on the coals. They turned around and ran down the coal, practically falling over themselves. And when they got down there, Trevor heard the medic say to his partner, "Call the police right now." And Trevor said, "What's going on? What did you see?" And the medic, who had reacted that way, just shook his head and walked away to kind of compose himself. And so Trevor
Was he like fucking mutilated or something? Some killer killed him and disfigured him or something?
at this point was starting to get spooked himself. Clearly, whatever the medic had just seen had really shaken him up, and so Trevor just kind of stood there while the other medic ran in and called police. And then a few minutes later, a police car came flying into the coal yard, and an officer named Alan Godfrey, along with his partner, got out of the car, and right away the medic, who had gone to the top of the pile and been freaked out by what he saw, walked over with a very ashen face, and he told Alan Godfrey that something was terribly wrong with the person on top of this pile. And so Alan, not really sure what to expect, walked over with his partner to this coal pile, and with the medics and Trevor standing back, Alan, on his own, climbed up the coal, and he looked down at this person. And what Alan saw was a man lying on his stomach wearing a beautiful three-piece brown suit.
Wow.
And Alan immediately noticed that there was absolutely no soot from the coal that this guy was laying on his suit, even though Alan, just to get up here, had basically covered himself in black soot. And so he was wondering, how did this guy get up here and not get covered in soot? It didn't make any sense.
That's
also,
fucked up.
Alan noticed that this guy's hair
crazy.
looked totally bizarre. It looked like someone had given him like a really bad haircut with dull scissors. Like they just grabbed tufts of his hair and kind of chopped randomly. I mean, his hair was kind of all over the place. There were bald spots. And then as Alan looked from this guy's hair down, he noticed almost hidden in his hairline was this fairly deep wound in the back of his neck that was still bleeding.
Oh god.
But there
wait. Real photo of similar marks and green jelly. What the fuck? Green jelly?
was this
UFOs?
weird green jelly-like substance very obviously placed over this wound. And Alan had no idea what the substance was. But as weird as all that was, that didn't explain why the first medic had basically completely panicked and run away. When Alan tried to roll this guy over onto his back to try to wake him up and see if he was okay, he rolled him over, and Alan got a look at this guy's face. And immediately Alan let go of him and kind of had to step back for a second, because the guy's face was contorted in this frozen look of absolute terror. His jaw was open so wide, it was almost like his lower jaw was dislocated, and his teeth were baring, and his eyes were bulging out of his head. And so Alan quickly realized that obviously...
It's like that? What the fuck? That is so creepy.
Not just some drunk homeless person who passed out here. This was a dead person, and whatever happened to them must have been unbelievably terrifying.
So he died of shock or something?
To leave someone looking like that in their death pose. It would turn out this deceased man in the coal yard was Ziggy Adamski. But this did not solve the mystery of what happened to Ziggy 5 days earlier. In fact, his discovery really only created more questions. This town where this coal yard was, Todmorden, was located 25 miles away from where Ziggy lived. And as far as anyone knew, Ziggy didn't know anybody in Todmorden.
This is insane!
So there was no reason for him to be there. And number two, when he had left to go get potatoes, he had been on foot. So did he walk 25 miles to this random town? Also,
25 miles somewhere else he went. What the fuck?
Assuming he did just walk to this coal yard. This coal yard is a big, wide open lot that if you were standing anywhere near it, even outside the fence, you could look in and basically see the entire place. So it just seemed really unlikely that Ziggy could just walk into this very public open space and get to the top of one of these coal piles without somebody noticing him. Whether that was Trevor or one of the other employees that were there, or one of the truck drivers that were in and out of there all the time, all day, doing deliveries, or the homeless people who were near the railroad tracks,
so creepy.
or the people who rode the trains that passed by there every single day. I mean, there are
Oh man, I'm getting spooked right now. I'm like, fuck, why did I decide to watch scary shit today? Today I'm like really spooked out.
A lot of eyes on this coal yard, but nobody saw Ziggy. It was like he just kind of appeared at the top of this pile. And again, even if Ziggy had managed to slip in and sneak to the top of this pile, why didn't he have soot from the coal all over his clothes? And
Damn.
if maybe he had been brought there, if someone had killed him and put him on this coal pile, there's even more reason he would have soot all over him, because they would have had to drag him up to the top of the pile. And even putting all that aside, if someone really did kill Ziggy and they placed him on this pile, why? This is a very open public place. Someone is going to find him. You're going to get caught if you're the killer. And then, of
That's
course,
so
there is the
fucked
issue
up.
of what Ziggy was wearing. That brown three-piece suit he was wearing that had no soot on it, it wasn't his, and it wasn't put on right. The buttons were not lined up. It almost looked like somebody else who didn't know how to put a suit on had tried to dress Ziggy.
What?
And then Ziggy also did not have an undershirt on. It was just the jacket over his skin. And then also Ziggy
What?
had this totally bizarre haircut that looked like someone who didn't know how to give a haircut had cut his hair with scissors and said, good enough. And then, of course, you have
Oh,
this
man.
wound on the back of Ziggy's neck. Now, the wound itself was determined not to be fatal. It was a fairly deep cut, but it wouldn't have killed him.
Whoa.
However, the most significant part of that wound was that green
green
jelly,
jelly.
that had been placed across the back of it.
What
During
the fuck?
Ziggy's autopsy, they were unable to figure out what this green jelly was, and they ran dozens and dozens of tests on it. And also, during the autopsy, the coroner would determine that Ziggy had actually died the same day he had been found. So he was
Whoa.
doing something for 5 days between going missing and being on this coal pile, but nobody knows what it was. And as for his cause of death, the coroner was not entirely sure, but it did seem like he died of a heart attack. The coroner would
Oh my
search all
God.
of Ziggy's body for signs of some sort of fight he might have gotten into, some sort of defensive wound on his body, but there was
Damn.
nothing. However, the coroner did find there were very small burns on the back of his neck that were caused by acid, but it was unclear how
Really?
those got there. When they inspected Ziggy's stomach, they determined that he had been eating and drinking regularly, and so he was not malnourished, he was not dehydrated. He was relatively healthy when he died. He just had this heart attack for unknown reasons.
What?
Apparently, whatever gave him the heart attack scared him so badly, his face contorted in that horrible way. Ultimately, the coroner just kind of
Oh
gave
my
up
God.
and ruled that Ziggy had died of natural causes, and then the case was closed. But to
Wow.
this day, no one really has any idea how Ziggy went from going out
This is so creepy. Why did I decide to watch this?
get groceries to winding up 25 miles away, dressed differently, with this haircut, with this jelly on him and acid burns, dead with this horrible look on his face on this coal pile. It doesn't make any sense. This case has become very famous because people say it is the best
I never heard of this case. What the hell? What?
example of alien abduction. That Ziggy had
Really?
left his house to get groceries, got abducted by aliens, and then over 5 days, these aliens
Like, if he was, like, come on. He went into the fucking grocery stores to get potatoes. It's a public place, and when you get out, it's still, he was walking on the street. It's also a public place. How can a UFO come out of nowhere and snatch him, and nobody noticed the UFO or him getting snatched? Like, how? How is that possible? I don't know if it's UFO or not.
aliens did stuff to Ziggy, including cutting into his neck and dropping acid on him, and then they put that green stuff on the back of his neck. They dressed him the way they thought people dressed, in a suit, but they didn't really do it right, and then they literally just dropped him on top of this coal pile, which would explain why he didn't have soot all over him. He was dead, they dropped him, and he just landed on the top of the coal pile. And even if
I
you
don't
think
know,
that's
man.
totally far-fetched, keep in mind, still today, we do not know what that green jelly compound was.
What is
on
that?
the back of his neck. It's literally never been identified, and people have been trying to figure it out for 40 plus years. Also, it's worth noting that one of the responding
Was he in like a fucking mechanic shop or something where the killers, accidentally smeared some green like grease on him or something, like bike grease? I don't know, man.
police
This is
officers,
fucking
Alan
creepy.
Godfrey, claimed to have seen a UFO within weeks of finding Ziggy Adamski.
Oh shit! My God!
So that's going to do it. If you got something out of today's episode,
Oh, God.
be sure to check out our podcast
Oh, God.
called the Mr. Ballin Podcast, where we have literally hundreds more stories just like this one, many of which are only on the podcast. Again, it's called
Damn.
the Mr. Ballin Podcast, and it's available
Insane.
exclusively on Amazon Music.
God damn it! I'm now super spooked like shit. Okay, And I'm sorry, guys. I'm really scared right now. And it's like midnight. It's 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. man, 2:11 a.m. in the fucking morning. Well, not morning, but more like in the midnight. And I'm like, what the hell, man? This is spooking me out so bad. Okay, should we take a look at something else? Can we take a look at mysterious disappearance? Can we take a look at that? Okay, let's watch this. This is a mysterious disappearance video. This will fucking creep you out, man. Okay, let's go. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Scale.
Let's do it. Theo Hayes, The Vanishing.
Despite its relatively small size, Byron Bay is one of Australia's premier tourist destinations.
Huh.
Nearly 2 million people visit the coastal town each year.
Coastal town.
In 2019, 18-year-old Theo Hayes was amongst them.
Dude kind of looks creepy. You see that smile and that chin. Why is that chin so big? It's almost like his face is small, but his chin is big and his forehead is big. What is going? Something is creepy about him, man.
The young Belgian national was drawn to Byron
Fucking large chin. It's like a fucking mountain. What?
for the same reasons as most travelers his age.
Like an inverted mountain. Look at his chin. Damn.
The town's beautiful beaches, great surfing spots, and its chilled out, relaxed atmosphere. For much of the year, backpackers and tourists make up the majority of Byron's population.
Huh.
It's a transient sort of town, a place where some people go to find themselves, and where others go to lose themselves.
Oh.
Unfortunately, in Theo's case,
Looks
his
beautiful.
trip to
though.
Byron was an escape from which he would never return.
Oh shit.
Theo had been exploring Australia
Sorry.
for the better part of a year by the time he arrived in Byron.
Okay.
He'd spent much of his time down under with his cousin, Lisa Hayes, who described Theo as being a responsible and level-headed traveller. According to her, he wasn't that typical young tourist who loves partying.
He looks unusual. Look at that chin and why is his facial features so small, so close to each other, and his chin and forehead is completely separated. Look at that. What the fuck?
And was
What's
instead
happened?
much more interested in experiencing Australian
He looks creepy as fuck to me. I don't know.
culture and immersing himself in the country's natural beauty. Still, meeting people and making connections is what travelling's all about. And since Theo didn't know anyone when he arrived in Byron, he got
Imagine that dude running at you with a creepy smile on his face. That dude looks creepy, man.
to talking with some other young people at the Wake Up hostel where he was staying. These fellow
Alright.
backpackers invited Theo to join them for some drinks in town.
Drinks in town.
The young Belgian was scheduled to fly home to Europe the following week, so he figured, why not? One last adventure in Oz.
Okay.
On May 31st, Theo and one of his new acquaintances caught a shuttle bus into town.
Huh.
They were seen on CCTV at 7:45 p.m, buying a bottle of wine
He looks okay here. I like it.
and acting normally.
Cool.
They both then returned to the Wake Up hostel and shared the bottle with some other friends that they had made. Later that evening, Theo and his new companions went back into town once again and paid a visit to an infamous bar called Cheeky Monkeys, a short distance from Byron's main area. Now, Cheeky Monkeys had something of a reputation at the time.
Huh.
It was ranked as one of the most violent bars in all of Australia, well known
Really?
for its dodgy clientele, aggressive bouncers, and for
Wow.
the poor lighting in the surrounding area.
That's creepy, man.
Most of the locals knew better than to go there.
And this dude was making friends out of nowhere. Just random strangers. He's talking to them and just in an instant he's friends with them, and he was walking around with them, going to this bar or something. It's so that's crazy. You're not even in your hometown to be meeting random strangers and making friendship with them. It's not your hometown. You're in some foreign land that you went for a vacation, and now you're like making friends over there, and you don't even know what they might be sketchy, they might be irresponsible, careless, and you're making friends with them, really? And where is your family? Why are you going around on a vacation randomly? You're not even like married or anything. What's going on?
But Theo wasn't a local, and nor were his new friends.
People have a lot of, obsession with traveling alone too. Like you're traveling somewhere, you go along with your sister, your brother, or your family, or maybe your father, or maybe your best friend or something. But no, this dude just goes alone. Stupid.
With the end of May being somewhere between autumn and winter in Australia, it was obviously the off-season period, and as such, it was a particularly quiet night inside Cheeky Monkey's. In fact, the bar was only at about 1/4 capacity.
All of them look like teenagers that just graduated or some shit,
Still, judging by the surveillance footage, Theo was having a fun time nonetheless, and was seen dancing on the bar with the other backpackers he had met. At about 11 p.m, Theo bought 2 drinks at the bar, before promptly being escorted out the building by security. According to the guard who kicked him out, Theo was a polite young man, but had clearly had too much to drink, and was stumbling all over the place. Other witnesses at the bar contradicted this.
But he looked like he was walking out with, like he wanted to walk out. That's how he was walking out. So, and it doesn't even look like he was fighting someone or too drunk or anything. He wanted to go out, and that's why he went out. So I don't know what that guard is talking about. I don't know.
And said that Theo was actually
Is he lying?
completely sober when he was kicked out, and wasn't being loud or rude or aggressive in any way. According to them, the security guard's decision to kick him out.
Man, this footage looks like it's 2 FPS. What the fuck? It's like it's showing a bunch of photos. What is going on? Come on. At least 24 FPS like a movie would be much better. Come on, dude.
Seemed completely random and unprovoked. Looking at the CCTV.
Why do these people have CCTV cameras, fucking security cameras? For what if they're gonna show it like this? Really?
Footage of Theo exiting the premises. He didn't appear to be intoxicated.
Alright,
though
whatever.
of course that's up for interpretation. The guard made him stand on an X to have his photo taken. Theo appears confused in the footage, but goes along with the whole rigmarole. At 11:07 p.m, the security cameras captured Theo walking off by himself down Kingsley Street and into the cold, quiet.
And he's looking at the phone, and he's not even walking straight because he's looking at the phone. He's like going. It's almost like he's drunk, and it's like, what is going on?
At night. This was the last time Theo Hayes was ever seen alive. After exiting the camera's field of view, he vanished off the face of the earth, never to be seen again.
What the fuck?
To begin with,
Oh man, that just gave me chills.
everyone assumed that when Theo left the bar, he began walking back towards his hostel. That of course made perfect sense, seeing how his accommodation wasn't too far from town, and he could have easily made the journey on foot. But as detectives would come to learn after analysing his Google location data, Theo never
Wow.
made it back to the Wake Up hostel that night.
What the fuck?
In fact, he didn't even get close.
Oh man, I'm getting so much chills. My hair is all fucked up. Oh, my hair on my hands is standing up. I'm so chill. My god.
Soon after leaving the area, Theo sent a series of text messages in French to his friends back in Belgium. That's likely who he was messaging in this footage. At some point after that, he watched a portion of a TV show on YouTube and sent his sister a message on WhatsApp. On several occasions, he opened Google Maps to search for routes back to his hostel. Clearly, he was planning on heading back at some point. However, according to his mobile records, he actually took an extremely bizarre route after leaving the bar and walked in the opposite direction of the hostel, towards a youth activity centre down Tennyson Street.
Really?
He then spent 7 minutes standing in a sporting field, a field
What?
where homeless people and drifters were known to stay. At 11:30 p.m,
Is he trying to look for some drugs or some shit so that he can get back into the fucking Cheeky Monkeys or whatever and smoke over there, like snort coke or something like that? I don't know, man. Why was he, going into this sketchy fucking area with weird stuff? I don't know.
he began walking extremely quickly through the Milne track towards Tallow Beach, moving at 7.5 kilometers an hour. With no streetlights in that part of town, it would have been very dark, with no signs of life, and Theo would have been well aware that he was heading in the wrong direction and away from civilization.
Stupid!
Still, as the data shows, he continued on through the thick bushland in a near straight line.
What? That looks like a fucking, an abandoned island or some, unvisited, undiscovered island, lost island or some shit. And he was going through that? Goodbye, you're done. What is going on? That is so fucking creepy. That is creepy. How can you, who with the common sense would want to go in there? Unless you got like a bunch of, like a guiding team or whatever. Or maybe you're trying to hike up a mountain that goes through a jungle, maybe. It makes no sense. Who would go inside that shit? And it would be like so many, trees and bushes and garbage in there. It's like there could be so many insects, snakes in there. Why would he go in there? The fuck?
Considering just how treacherous the bush along the Milne track is, that seemed like an almost impossible task, especially considering that Theo wasn't familiar with the area. As he made his way through the shrub, he never once slowed down and continued walking at a very fast pace.
Okay. Jeez.
He finally exited the bushland and made it onto the beach, after which he began heading in the direction of Cozy Corner, towards Byron Bay's lighthouse.
What?
During all that time, Theo continued texting his friends and sister as if nothing was out of the ordinary.
What the fuck?
His messages were coherent and didn't give off the impression that he was distressed or in trouble.
So this dude was just exploring, I guess, during the night in the dark? And he was texting his family and friends? That's fucking stupid. What?
At 12:56 a.m., Theo sent his final message to a friend he had made in Australia. Just 6 minutes later, his phone suddenly switched to sleep mode and stopped transmitting data. Strangely, his phone came back online at around 6 a.m. and connected to a cell tower in Cape Byron one final time at 1:47 p.m. After that, his phone never pinged again. In the following days, Theo failed to call his family back in Belgium. That was completely out of character for him. He usually...
This is fucking bizarre. It's giving me chills, bro. It's fucking creeping me out. Why would he go into a fucking forest and get out into a beach and then go into a corner of that beach and then message his family and friends and then fucking disappear over there somewhere? What is going on? What? This is creepy as fuck.
He stayed in close contact with his parents, so they immediately began to sense that something was off. When June 6th rolled...
And why would he put it into sleep mode? Was he... Wait, you put things in sleep mode if you're like busy or something, or if you're working on something and you don't want anybody to call you. So this motherfucker put it on sleep because something else was happening and he had to keep his phone quiet. I don't know, man. Or maybe he was like being chased by someone that he had to, or maybe he was hiding somewhere from somebody and put it on sleep so that nobody can call him, or the phone might not make a noise in order to not make a noise. I don't know, man.
Around, and he still hadn't called. His family reported him missing.
Weird.
A huge search and rescue effort was launched. It involved helicopters, drones, cadaver dogs.
So many people, so many!
Trackers, divers, and even rock climbers. The local community even
Remember, guys, please stay in touch with some human out there, okay? Don't go traveling just because you feel like it, or you feel like you want to have an adventure. Go with a bunch of people. Go with your friends. Go with your family, okay? Don't go alone. Otherwise, you're going to become Theo Hayes right here with that big chin. That's exactly what the fuck's going to happen to you. Please, listen. Don't go off on your own. Don't fuck with your phone. Don't keep in touch. Make sure your footsteps can be tracked by anybody that's concerned about you, okay? Keep that in mind, okay? And don't spend your time with shady people, Okay, don't go into bars where a bunch of assholes dance around and fuck around and shit, you know. A bunch of promiscuous women and fucked up assholes, drug dealers. Don't go into places like that. This is what's gonna happen.
Banded together, putting up missing person posters and helping hunt for the young man. Theo's parents flew out to Australia and made a passionate appeal for any information that would help them find their son.
Look at the
But by
dad is
that point,
crying.
The trail had already frozen over.
Some careless bitch, this big-chinned dude. I hate him.
They couldn't find a single trace of...
You couldn't think about your family before you fucking decided to go on a hiking trip, you bitch? Without anything, just gonna go out there alone in the dark like a creepy, ghostly motherfucker. Like, seriously.
the young man anywhere.
Think of your family or parents before you fucking do bullshit.
His passport and personal belongings were still in his private room at the hostel.
This is creepy.
In July, volunteers came across Theo's grey Puma baseball cap, nestled in the brush near Talos Beach.
Oh, man.
So, what happened to Theo Hayes? Well, here are a few of the main theories.
If his cap is found there, it has been found there, that means he threw it down there. He threw it away, which means that maybe two or three things, man. He might be running away from something and the cap fell down, or maybe he was, doing something else and the cap was, bothering him, so he threw it down or something. Or maybe he was beaten the shit out of and killed or something, so his cap was just fell off. I don't know. It's weird.
Theory 1. Theo left Cheeky Monkeys, and, for whatever reason, decided to go on a solo adventure through the bushland.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. He's still messaging his family and friends, which means that he knows what he's doing, which means he went on a solo trip. Dumbass. Jeez.
He somehow made it to the beach and began climbing up the beachside cliffs towards the famous lake.
He wanted to go to a fucking beach, and he went there through a thick-ass jungle, and he went there, and then he tried to get to a better position, or maybe fall hard on a rock and hit his head or some shit.
House. This act of misadventure ended in tragedy, with Theo falling from the rocks and into the sea.
Huh.
His last known location was at Talos Beach after all, and it would explain why his body still hasn't been found. Then again, if Theo ended up in the ocean and was swept away or taken by a shark, how could his phone have reconnected at 1:40?
And why would his cap be inside a thick, forest somewhere in the thick bush or whatever? Why would his cap be found there if he was lost inside a fucking, fell into a beach or whatever? I don't know.
7 p.m. and pinged off a cell phone tower. It's possible he dropped his phone before falling in the water, but that doesn't explain why the device still hasn't been found to this day, or why an otherwise sensible and risk-averse young man would do something so reckless and out of character. His inhibitions may have been lowered at the time, but as the CCTV footage shows, he almost certainly wasn't that drunk.
I'm telling you, somebody in that Cheeky Monkeys bar told him to go get some drugs from some of their friends, and this piece of shit decided to go on a solo trip to go and get them drugs. And, those drug dealers decided to kill him. That's what I think. That's the only way to explain this. He saw he talked to somebody, he went outside the fucking bar, and went on a solo trip to get to the beach, right? There has to be somebody on the beach or somewhere, and something went bad over there,
Theory 2. Theo was murdered.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that a young man with no knowledge of the local area would have been able to travel the Milne Track alone at night. According to people who know the area, it's simply far too complex, dense, and difficult to traverse without knowing where you're going. And for him to have taken the unapparent detour towards Tallow Beach, well, that's an obscure route which only a local would know to take. You have to pass down a small path by a gully and an abandoned campsite, and it's not the kind of place you just stumble across.
Huh.
In the minds of many, Theo had to have met someone after leaving Cheeky Monkey's. A local, perhaps in the field where he spent 7 minutes standing around.
Huh.
This local then led him through the thick shrubbery of the Milne track, with promises of showing him the lighthouse or taking him to a secret party.
Oh.
This local then either killed Theo, hurt him badly, or left him to fend for himself.
Oh, man.
It's unclear what their motive would have been, but again, human intervention would explain why his body was never found.
Man.
It's entirely possible that Theo's buried out in the bushland somewhere.
So he spent 7 minutes somewhere else, and then he started to walk really fast into the jungle, right? And then went into the beach. So in those 7 minutes, something terrible must have happened. And then he started to walk really fast, trying to get rid of somebody or some shit. I don't know.
Or that he was taken and driven somewhere even more remote.
Wow.
This theory would also explain why he took such a bizarre route. He likely wouldn't have gone in that direction if he wasn't being led by someone, and his text messages implied that he felt comfortable
Very fucking creepy, man.
and not lost.
Very creepy. Wow.
Theory 3. Theo's Google Maps simply bugged out and gave him a
Jesus.
bad route back to the hostel. Unfamiliar with the area, he followed Google's directions without question, assuming that the dark and desolate route must have been a detour.
What an idiot.
He unfortunately got lost. Ended up
Keep track of where you're going. Okay, don't go by yourself somewhere and don't do things that nobody can understand or, track you or find you. Don't do things like that, or else you're gonna put yourself in danger, man. Go with a bunch of people wherever you're going. Stay happy, stay strong and stay brave. Don't do this,
up on the beach, and then
Don't wander around looking at a phone like a dumbass, okay?
turned back the way he had come. Now, stuck wandering around the hostile bushland, he eventually succumbed to the elements.
Fuck.
It was a particularly cold night after all. Byron's coldest May night on record, in fact. His remains could still be out there somewhere, laying undiscovered, deep in the brush. This theory, however, doesn't explain why he never once tried to call for help, or why he didn't message anyone about his dire situation.
Man.
There's a myriad of other possible theories that people have come up with.
Fucked up.
Someone gave him bad directions.
This is so
He had
fucking
wittingly
creepy.
or unwittingly taken some sort of substance.
Yeah.
Someone stole his phone and ran off with it. All of these theories have their own set of merits and inconsistencies.
Well, first thing we gotta find out that are there footprints of him going somewhere, or were there like multiple footprints, like 2 or 3 people when he was going through that thick jungle to get to the beach? That's one thing we need to find out. But the case is old at this point, like what, 3-5 years at this point? It's over. That motherfucker dead. Okay, end of story. It's not like he's gonna suddenly abandon and live somewhere else. He was still messaging his friends and family. Okay, so he's fucking dead, and it doesn't matter if somebody killed him or not. It's over. His fault. It's over. He was just fine outside the bar, but when he got to the beach, it was over. So he went into the fucking thick jungle. Nobody does that.
Unfortunately, we simply don't know what exactly happened to Theo, though I
Yeah.
think it's safe to assume he's no longer alive. But why did he take such a strange route? Why was he moving so quickly through the brush? Why did his phone enter sleep mode, only to reactivate hours later? And why has his body never been found? For his family's sake, I'm hoping we'll be able to answer those questions in the near future. If you know what happened to Theo, there's currently a $500,000 reward for any information relating to his case.
Like, I think he put it on sleep mode because he wanted to, nobody has to listen to the phone beeping with messages, notifications, right? So that's why somebody put it on sleep mode. It could be Theo or the killer, right? And, once they reactivated it, they just wanted to know what the fuck is going on with the phone. Did somebody message? Did somebody knew about him going missing? And then that's all they wanted to take a look at, and then they switched it off and threw the fucking phone away. End of story. I think that's what the killer did. Or maybe Theo is a dumbass and it's enough, whatever. All right. Yeah, that was it. Let's watch something else. That case has always creeped me out because he goes into a fucking jungle, dude. That shit is just creepy as fuck. I don't even know what to say. All right, so I hope you guys are enjoying this stream. Am I boring you guys? Am I talking too much? I'm sorry. Okay, let's watch something else now. Okay. Let's watch something else. Let's just watch this. Okay, let's just watch this. And we're gonna go on to other stuff. Let me see the stream. It's half an hour. Okay, let's just watch this. We're gonna watch a bunch of things today. And I'm gonna try to find something else, something cool. And not always scary stuff, okay? So, let's do it.
This mystery's been making the rounds recently, with channels like Gooseboost and Blame It on Jorge uploading some very detailed videos investigating it.
Yeah, I know this.
But I thought it would
I've seen this so many times, I lost count, okay?
make a nice addition to this list, for reasons that will
But it might scare you, so let's watch
soon
it.
become clear. Most of you are no doubt familiar with this image associated with the Jeff the Killer creepypasta.
Jeff the
The story
Killer.
of a teenage slayer with a mutilated face.
Ugh.
The original's not
Obviously
a great read, let's be
photoshopped.
honest. But this associated picture has to be one of the most iconic horror images to circulate around the internet. And
Yeah.
where most pictures from the creepypasta era have faded from people's memories, this one persists. What some of you may not know, however, is that the image itself is shrouded in mystery. In short, nobody knows where it came from.
Okay.
It's obviously a heavily edited photo, but to this very day, its origin remains unclear. For the past decade, creepypasta fans across the globe have been playing detective, trying to track down the original photo and unveil the face.
Do you know the origin of Jeff the Killer? If you know, please type down. Please tell me in the chat. I would like to know where the fuck you can. If you have any image, please link it too. Like,
Of the
damn.
real person that Jeff's based on. And it's actually been a wilder search than you might think. Let's get into it.
All right, let's go.
What many people think of as the original Jeff story hit the internet in 2011, but the character was actually first conceived all the way back in 2008 by a guy called Sousa. Sousa posted this short background on old Jeffy on Newgrounds, along with the now infamous picture. In an interview with Scare Theatre, Sousa claimed that he had taken the photo himself using a white latex mask and a pair of plastic eyes.
Nah,
he couldn't
he's.
prove this, however,
I don't
because
think so.
apparently he had lost the mask soon after taking the photos.
Okay.
But we know that's not the case.
Crazy.
Firstly, because the image is
Oh
obviously
my
photoshopped.
god, it's so creepy, this fucking thing. When I saw for the first time, it was like one of the many jump scares I've seen in mod maps from TF2 or Left 4 Dead mods, those maps, scary maps, it's like that with the jump scares popping out, this was one of them things, and it was always scary. But for me, I've already seen many jump scares, and this was like just another one of them. So it didn't creep me out. But every now and then, when I look at these eyes, I feel like something has freaked me out. Something freaks me out about it. When you look at them eyes, when you focus in the middle of those eyes and you look at them, it's like fucking freaky. I don't know, man. Something is freaky. Whoever made this unintentionally made one of the creepiest, one of the freakiest faces ever. Pretty much,
And not a mask. And
Something
secondly,
about
as
it.
internet sleuths later discovered,
Look in the middle of the mouth and the eyes. Look at the middle on that white background, and you will see how freaky that is. Holy shit.
Sousa's post wasn't the first
It's like two eyes and a mouth is looking at you, and holy shit.
time this image appeared on the internet. 1 year earlier, in 2007, a Japanese video titled NNN Special Broadcast was uploaded to YouTube. The video itself is a recreation of a then popular Japanese urban legend that involved a late-night news broadcast. According to the story, a young man who was having trouble sleeping turned on his TV at 2:30 a.m. He switched channels to the Nippon News Network, but was met with nothing but static.
Oh, man, this give me chills.
Suddenly,
This
colored
is creepy.
bars filled the screen. The words NNN, Ring Hoso, appeared alongside a photo
shit.
of an abandoned...
Something about old footages is really creepy, man. This is why I can't watch the Ring movie alone. That movie is so... Especially that footage of weird VHS tape type of footage is just creepy, man. I was so scared when I was a kid. I couldn't even move, you know. I had to stick to my parents, you know.
factory.
Shit.
A list of seemingly random names slowly scrolled down the screen, followed by the words, Tomorrow's Sacrifice. The implication being that all the named individuals would die the next day.
Huh.
The broadcast supposedly ended with several weird images and sound effects.
Fucking creepy,
YouTube
man.
video stays faithful to the legend.
What the fuck
What's
is this?
Is that at the end, the Jeff the Killer image briefly flashes on screen
Oh,
just before the
fuck!
video cuts to black, and we're left with the
In this video, that's supposed to be like a jump scare in that video, and I guess they didn't put like a loud noise because it just flashes and goes away, I guess.
message. Oyasumi nasai. Good night. So, it appeared as if the famous Jeff image actually had Japanese roots.
Huh.
That made a lot of sense, seeing how nobody...
Yeah,
in
because look at the mouth. The mouth looks like a Japanese like a Japanese person's mouth. It looks like that. I mean, take a look at
the
it.
West knew what the original image was. That theory only solidified after the Jeff image was found in an archive post from pia.cc, a now defunct message board
Another
that was popular in
Japanese.
Japan back in the day.
Whoa.
The post,
Wait,
titled
wait,
that was
what?
popular in Japan back in the day.
Okay, wait.
.cc, a now defunct message board that was
Oh,
popular
message
in Japan
board.
back in the day.
Okay.
The post, titled Kowa, or Scary, was
Okay.
made all the way back in November of 2005.
Oh,
long before the
shit.
image started circulating.
You telling me this image is going back to my childhood, man? That's when it was made? And you can look at this image, right? This is photoshopped, obviously. There's a mouth and everything. Somebody colored it completely white and photoshopped it. But look at the outline, right? This is the outline, and it goes... This is what I noticed. This outline goes around and you know, it doesn't cover the whole face. It only covers just about like 80% of the face, and goes this photoshopped outline. You see? So the face behind it, you can see some of it, right? So that little face, the part where the face you can see, that face is extremely white. I'm thinking that the person, that original face, the person was trying to put on some makeup, how you brighten up your face with some cream on your face, right? With the cucumber things on your eyes. You see that in the beaches and stuff, people wearing that, it's like that. Somebody wore like a cream on their face, and I guess they thought they were scary, so they took a picture of themselves in a scary way, right? Like a selfie. But somebody fucking decided to make it a creepy pasta shit, some like a Jeff the Killer or some shit, and this is what they photoshopped on their face, like completely white background. They completely stretched their eyes out and stretched their mouth out, and this is the original mouth, but the stretching is photoshopped. So you could see some. I think it's a Japanese woman that is trying to put some cream on her face, trying to get her beauty going on for the morning. Maybe she got like an interview left on the morning, and she put some cream on, and during the night she thought she was scary, so she took a selfie or some shit back in 2003 too. That makes no sense. Why would you take your selfie? But selfies were non-existent. I guess you just take a selfie, like just to take a picture of yourself, right? It was not called selfie, so I guess that's what that is. I could be wrong. So
in the West, and 2 years before it appeared in the NNN video. 2 months before that, in September of 2005, this version of the image was also posted on Pia.
This time it's even less of a Photoshop. You can see the underside of like the chin side, and you can see even more of the face to the side here. So I don't know what to say. And the eyes are obviously fake. Maybe they were real eyes, but somebody stretched it and make it look like a toy eyes. I don't know, man. Creepy.
This appears to be the furthest back we can track the Jeff image. The version with the least edits. The uploader, a user named Mulholland Son, titled the image White Powder Part 2. The words underneath it read,
so he says white powder. So did this woman put on some white powder to scare people, to take a scary image of herself or something? A white powder? Or maybe it's like, again, a facial cream or something like that. I don't know. Somebody was trying to pull some scary shit into this, but came off as, somebody completely trolled her face, took her image and completely made her a creepy ass bitch. That's what they did. Damn.
Go out with me. So it seems the image may have been getting shared around as some sort of joke.
I guarantee she wore some white powder, and this motherfucker that typed down white powder knows what the original image probably looks like. Somebody needs to call this dude, whoever this dude did it.
Perhaps making fun of another user's appearance. But notice what somebody commented underneath. I often see this on the net. If that's true, then
Really? So this picture has been around for ages before it was like turned into Jeff the Killer?
the image may date back farther than we currently realize.
Huh.
As for the picture itself, it's definitely far less edited than the image we're all familiar with.
Huh.
At some point between September and November 2005, somebody painted Jeff's distinctive black eyes on the image, and also elongated the sides of the mouth.
Damn.
As some have suggested, the stretched mouth may have been
The fucking white eyes in the middle, that shit is fucking creepy, man. The black stuff around it, it's not even that, scary. The middle part is way too shiny, way too white, and it's like fucking looking into your soul. That's how it looks like. Damn.
a play on Kuchisake Onna, the split-mouth woman from Japanese legend. But I actually think there's a different
what the
Japanese
hell?
connection here. Around the time these images were
That is
posted
creepy.
to pia.cc, there was a popular trend amongst Japanese internet users called kawaii kusasete, or the Let Me Be Cute challenge. This was particularly popular on the image board.
Oh
2chan.
shit!
Essentially,
I know this.
users would upload an innocent picture, usually of a person or a human-like object, and then
Alright.
ask other users to make me cute.
Oh, okay.
A different user would then make some creepy edits to the picture and transform
Ah.
it into something more kawaii than kawaii.
Bloody and extremely white.
Someone else would then take that altered
Yeah,
image
this is the popular image with that fucking face.
and add more creepy edits
Ugh.
themselves. This would go on and on.
This is the one. I'm sorry, not the previous one. This is the actual one that fucking scares anybody that watched it. Like
With the picture
crazy.
becoming more and more cursed with every
Along with Jeff the Killer, this shit was super popular too.
new iteration.
Fuck.
During the process, the original image would often get lost, with different edit chains branching off and becoming their
Jeez.
own thing entirely.
Ugh.
Seeing how Mulholland's
Oh,
image was
man.
titled White Powder 2, that could suggest he was playing the Let Me Be Cute game.
I'm telling you, this motherfucker knows that woman put on white powder, so he knows who that woman is. We would like to see her face. You 2005 idiot that turned. Why did you have to Photoshop this, man? Why didn't you upload the straight face instead? It's your fault we're suffering right now trying to investigate this bullshit. Like,
With
seriously.
whoever uploaded White Powder 1, aka the original Jeff image.
Huh.
White Powder
Okay.
2 was then adapted by another user, and then another, and then another,
And
until
then
it
another.
eventually became ahya.
Okay.
Also, as Blame It on Jorge pointed out in his recent video,
Huh.
when we examine the EXIF data of ahya, we can see that
Pretty
it originally
face.
went by a different name,
Huh.
Pretty Face. A fitting
Oh.
file name for the Let Me Be Cute challenge, don't you think?
Oh shit.
There
Pretty
is one
face.
final development.
Somebody needs to like Google search pretty face with the face capital like in that like we just saw, you know. Somebody needs to Google that shit and find out if you can see some links or something like that, and maybe you can find the original, you know. So it's up to you guys. Go check it out,
To cover.
you know.
Just last year, the creator of White Powder 2, Mulholland-san, was actually tracked down on Twitter.
Oh really?
And, according to him, the original Jeff image was actually a screen grab he took from a video that was circulating around Japan at the time.
Really?
Mulholland said that the clip featured a middle-aged Asian woman. At a point in the video,
To put it simply, in mid 2005, a cropped image of a video of a middle-aged Asian woman appeared in Japan. At that point, my face was white. I edited a little in Photoshop to post to pr.cc. This 2005 asshole fucked up the whole thing. You could have fucking grabbed the fucking whole video and uploaded it instead of using the Photoshop and destroying whatever was there. Fuck you.
where she approached the camera, he took a screenshot, made some edits in Photoshop, and uploaded it to pr.cc as White Powder 2.
Damn.
The image was then warped further, resulting in Ahyah.
By the way, this image was posted on various bulletin boards as a surprise image. This image was going around as Japanese meme back then. The original story is a crop of an Asian Japan video, but I think no one probably remembers it. Then good night again. The fuck is wrong with this dude? Explain, motherfucker. Not just this. Explain more. Show us something, you know?
Ahyah, which went on to become a popular meme in Japan.
It was a Japanese meme back then, and the assholes that memed it back then couldn't be tracked down or didn't come out and tell anybody, show the original video, nothing.
Probably how
Really?
Sessa, the creator of Jeff, first came upon it. And, realizing the image wasn't well known in the West, chose to use it as the picture for his story. Unfortunately, Mulholland believes that the video he took the screenshot from has since been lost to time.
Damn.
The final version of the Jeff image we have to talk about is this one.
Oh fuck.
Green-eyed Jeff.
What the fuck?
Some have suggested that this is the earliest incarnation of the Jeff image, though it's not clear when exactly it was made. However, as creepy as this image is,
That does look like a woman. And you could see some of the skin around the face. So this it shows skin. And it doesn't look fake. The skin doesn't look fake. It looks real. So I think maybe this is actually real. You know? So then that white bullshit on it was whoever made this, we need to talk to them, man. That's what I think. And can somebody like add like AI nose, AI eyes, remove all this shit and you know, fix it or something?
it's widely considered not to predate White Powder Part 2. The blurriness and overall lower quality suggests that it's seen more edits.
This is so bad.
In the years
So
since this
fucked
mystery
up.
caught traction, many photos of real people have been suggested as the basis for Jeff, but none of them
Oh,
quite
nah. Come on,
The backgrounds are
girlfriend.
too different,
Crazy girlfriend meme.
the hairlines don't match up, the proportions are all wrong, or the stories behind them don't make sense. There are plenty of great videos on YouTube debunking each of them, so I won't go into details here. But suffice to say, none of these photos fit the bill. All the other Jeff images said
Fuck.
to predate White Powder 2 have also proven to be fake.
This is so creepy. Look at this.
All
Oh,
in
what
all,
is this?
I'd say Mulholland's version
Holy
of events seems
shit.
the most likely, especially since he's the one who posted the image online at the earliest
What?
point. The earliest that we know of anyway. But if
This
the
is
videos are
insane.
lost, like he says, then this could be where the search ends.
Okay.
But
Wow.
perhaps, in some dark, rarely visited corner of the internet,
This
the
is
video
insane.
of the woman approaching the camera still exists. If it
And apparently it's a video, and you could see the picture is all pixelated. Outside her face, it's all pixelated, dude. So it has to be a video, because I don't think pixelated images. I don't think camera can take pixelated images unless you're taking up with a mobile phone. Back in the number dial phones, I don't know, man.
does, then the people searching for it are yet to find it.
This is creepy as
Until
fuck.
they do, this is the closest thing we have
Creepy
for
as
the
hell.
original image.
What the freak? Okay. Alright, man. Ugh. That was fucking creepy. Ooh, I'm unsettled. I'm not feeling well right now. Alright. I'm
A huge
glad.
thank you to my supporters
I'm glad
here
you're
on YouTube
watching.
and over on Patreon, especially my big.
You know, I'm glad you guys are watching. You know, without you guys, I would be like so scared. Okay, I gotta end this stream. I hope you really enjoyed this. Next time, I'm gonna play some games or watch someone play some games, funny stuff, and then I'm gonna watch someone react to Try Not to Laugh or something like that, because I can't find these Try Not to Laugh original stuff. Okay, so I only see a bunch of people reacting to these things, so I don't know how they find it, but you know, I'm gonna react to you know watch others watching some funny stuff and not always scary, because it's bad for my health. I can't watch scary shit over and over, man. I'm sorry. Okay, but if you like this, please make sure to follow me on Twitch. If you're watching this right now, please follow me on Twitch and go check out my YouTube channels. Okay, you know, my Unlimited Health, that's my main channel. Unlimited Health, the backup, is my backup channel, so go check them out. I do reaction videos. You'll be thoroughly entertained over there. If you have any videos that you want me to react to, please type down over there in any one of those videos in the comment sections. I'll note it down and react to it. I'll even say your name. Okay, so this is crazy. I think we watched like three cases of weird stuff. One is disappearance, the other one is poopy shit, garbage, unexplained dead body in the sewers or septic tank, and the other one is like vanished because unknown reasons, and a very scary, creepy vanishing with the green jelly on top. Holy shit, that's fucking crazy. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go sleep. I made a mistake watching this. Okay, so okay. I'm calm right now, okay? I'm not panicking. Alright, so please make sure to follow me on Twitch. If you're watching this, please make sure to follow me on Twitch and go check out my both my YouTube channels, Unlimited Health and Unlimited Health the Backup. Go check them out, and yeah, stay tuned for my next stream. I'll try to do it really quick, fast, and don't miss out on it for like 5 days or a whole week. At times, I won't do that. Okay, I will try to get to every stream every 2 to 3 days. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, so please make sure to follow me on Twitch and subscribe to my YouTube channels, and I'll see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't worry, I'll come back. We're gonna do it another day, like tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow. I'll come back. Don't worry. Okay, I'll see you later. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.